Are you ready for the best Kansas City Chiefs podcast? Welcome to the Chiefs Blitz podcast, brought to you by ChiefsBlitz.com, your top source for Chiefs news. Our podcast is produced by Bowtie Sports and hosted by Dick Athan, Lou Montagna, Andre Tillman, Hense Todd, and special contributor, Fox 4 sports reporter and anchor, Harold Kuntz. Please like and subscribe to our show. Now let's talk Kansas City Chiefs football.
All right, welcome to the latest edition of the Chiefs Blitz podcast. I'm your host, Nick Athan. Mr. Lou Montagna, Andre Tillman, and Hense Todd. What, you cut me out already?
No, just giving my normal Italian salute.
Okay. Yeah,
Sorry.
I wasn't sure. All right, we're having some issues with some of our social media, so I'm going to be posting the show here in just a second. So you guys take it away. Someone else talk about underdog for a change. How's that?
Underdog Fantasy Sports. Hense will lip sync. He'll move his mouth. I'll say the words. How about that? So our sponsor, Underdog Fantasy Sports, play 5, get 100 is still the promotion going on. Don't forget to use the code app Chiefs Blitz or just Chiefs Blitz, and you'll get that promotion. But plenty of other sports going on. College and pro basketball. I don't know if they're taking Olympic action, but that would certainly be pretty interesting at this point. Some good Olympic hockey going on earlier today. Canada and Czechia, I believe they're calling the name of the country now, Czechia. You always have to make sure, but yeah, Underdog Fantasy Sports, play now, play often, and gambling problem, dial 1-800-GAMBLER, I suppose.
Yeah, not gamble. All right, very good.
Yeah,
awesome.
It's a lot to get into today. Let's go ahead.
A lot of Chiefs news today.
Is there?
Go ahead, Luke.
What's happening? Oh my goodness! Look at this breaking news. The Chiefs, as probably expected, I think every location was talking about this, but they made it official. So Patrick restructures his contract for the 4th straight year, dropping his 2026 cap hit from a massive 78.2 down to 34.65. Lest we forget that he is getting all the money. It's just a different way. And actually, it helps him out too, because he gets a lot of cash up front. So Thank you, Patrick. And the one thing now, I guess, Nick, I don't know if we can go a little deeper on this.
Sure.
Okay, so it creates $44 million in cap space. The Chiefs were reportedly close to $60 million over the cap.
Yes.
So does this take us down to being over by $15 million?
No, we're at 11. We're at 11.4 million
over.
Over. Now we are waiting the release of Jawan Taylor, which will create 20. So the Chiefs should be at plus 8.5 just by these moves alone. But they're going to have to clear some more cap space to re-sign Travis Kelce and perhaps a show topic coming up, Tyreek Hill. So they're going to have to create a little bit of room. There are definitely some restructures they can do. Trey Smith, it's my understanding that he is willing to redo his deal. They could cut Mike Dana, which would save him $8 million. If they redo the deal for Trey Smith, probably somewhere about $10 million they would save. Then decide what they're going to do with McDuffie. So right now, this move creates them at minus 11.
I just wanted to make sure, because people tend to jump the gun. Oh my God, they got $44 million in cap space now. They can go crazy in free agency. Well, no, pump the brakes. It's still, hold on. Some moves to make. Right?
Let me interrupt you there. The fact that this move took place about 3 weeks earlier than the Chiefs normally done it with Patrick every single year leads me to believe that there are some other moves that they're willing to make, and they may be a player in free agency.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question. They don't
usually make this move this early.
Right. There's no question, because he kind of sets the tone. I mean, I guess if you're just like a captain or whatever, if he's willing to do this, and again, willing to do it, whatever, it helps him. He gets more of his money quicker. But it also helps the team, and just because the way the cap is set up, it is kind of a soft cap. I mean, for those of you that are like clutching your pearls and like, oh my God, where are they going to get the money? They can find the money, and they can certainly juggle things around. It's all about accounting, folks. So
yeah. Hey, my son's in the house. What's up, Cole?
Oh, what's going on, Cole?
It was his birthday yesterday. 29 years old. Hard to believe. He called me up and he goes, "We're gonna get Tyreek Hill. We're gonna get Tyreek Hill." I said, "I don't know."
Oh snap! Then we got the Mrs. in the building.
And the Mrs. in the building. And what did she say? I agree with Nick. Not Hense. Nick.
Is Cole. Now I don't want to, we don't want to get too specific because we know there's several, I don't know, hopefully 100,000 people watching. Is he in the country?
No, my son is not. He is in
Europe.
He's in the Air Force. He is stationed in Germany, and I'm very proud of that too. So,
has he been to any Olympic events?
No, he has not.
He is not. Okay.
No.
Well, why is that funny? I don't know. I was just
that would require
you laughing too.
You require him to travel and spend money.
All right. Okay.
All right. So let's get to the next news. Go ahead.
Probably take a train. Damn it. Oh my God. We got a book here. Let's go from our own Chiefs Blitz site. My goodness. We are breaking news anymore. The Chiefs secondary just got a major upgrade in the coaching room. Yep. The Chiefs have officially hired Andre Curtis as the new defensive backs and safeties coach. I guess defensive backs includes the safeties, but anyway, you know who he's coaching. The guys in the back end. Curtis brings 20 years NFL experience in a Super Bowl ring. I believe he worked with Spags at the Giants, at the Rams, and maybe even the Saints. And that later on in the article here, you can see that. Don't worry about Dave Merritt. He's not going anywhere. Maybe he gets a promotion out of this, as DB's coach, maybe assistant defensive coordinator. Who knows what the titles are going to be? It doesn't matter. The titles don't mean a damn thing anymore. Just show up, get these guys rolling. And
another adult in the room. I'm really liking this so far.
Yeah, well, I think maybe it just frees Merritt up to do some other things as well, because I thought he was doing a pretty decent job with the defensive backs to begin with. So maybe he is able to maybe look at things a little bit more on a larger scale.
Are y'all really feeling this Andre move, though? I know he's 20 years, Are y'all really feeling this guy right now? I mean, coming from the Dallas Cowboys and what they did over there, I mean, y'all really feeling that?
Yes.
Yeah, he did good with the Chicago Bears, and he also, So I'm all with it. I'm all for it.
Well, Deron Bland played pretty well. The younger Diggs gentleman played pretty well. I mean, I thought they've done well with their defensive backs. I mean, they've had other issues, but I don't know that it's so much putting a stamp of approval on it. But I think it just, again, to me, I think it kind of frees up Merritt maybe to do other things within the defense. So, and I think any other group that he can put his hands on is going to be a help. So, we'll see. I mean, he's been around a long time. Obviously, he's pretty well respected. He's moved around, knows Spags. I would imagine he's pretty familiar with his playbook. And if he's not, he'll get refamiliarized. But
maybe it's time for him to come home, man, to Spags. Maybe he can bring that combination with the Chiefs team. So I don't know. We'll see.
Other news. Go ahead.
All right. So here we go. There's a lawsuit been filed against Rashee Rice. I mean, obviously, the elephant in the room, and there was the IG post several weeks back. Then it was subsequently scrubbed, and we figured, well, there's lawyers involved here, one way or the other. Either she's getting settled with, or they're getting ready for a suit. And lo and behold, here we are. Civil lawsuit being filed against Rashee by the mother of his two children. The filing includes disturbing accusations of, I didn't memorize it, so if you can just leave it up.
A lot of allegations.
All right, so filing includes disturbing accusations of physical abuse, including choking, strangling, and headbutting, allegedly occurring between December 23 and July of 25. The NFL and the Chiefs previously stated they were aware of the social media claims made in January, but this formal lawsuit could trigger a much deeper investigation under the league's personal conduct.
It's time to cut him. It's time to cut him.
Hold on. Let's put the legalese in.
I know you're shaking your head, Bo. You're shaking your head, the gold jacket guy.
All right, let's put the legalese in perspective. Number one, he still has 3 civil cases in which he settled. However, it is my understanding that payment has not been made. That was supposed to be coming from his next contract. So now
those stem from the
car accident,
car racing,
from the deal they made with the Dallas County DA, all those things. So I think she would be the 4th person in line Now, this could have to do with he's got 2 kids, could be child support. It could be a whole host of other issues. So we really don't know how this is going to look. It doesn't look good for Rashee Rice. Yes, I know, Andre, you want to cut him. However, the union is going to back him and make it a little bit more difficult. And again, these are allegations. These are
allegations.
Nothing that's been settled in front of a judge or a jury. You know, she's filed a complaint. She's cited a lot of things. Let's just see how it plays out.
But it's too much coming out about Rice, though. It's too much. It's
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not saying
it's stacking. I mean, what are we doing?
No man should touch a woman, hit a woman, or be any part of that.
Poking them out.
He said it's allegations. But speaking of wide receivers, I mean,
the suit has been filed, right?
Yeah,
so
that's all we know.
The only thing is, in and of itself, yes, let's see what happens. But given the position that he's in, and the trouble he's been before, again, this is a record. This
doesn't look good.
A pattern of behavior, and that's where things can start to get a little ugly.
That leads us to the next breaking news of the day.
And the other piece is what the Chiefs have to.
There's the other.
How they feel about this. So evidently, either there's some fancy editing going on here, or Tyreek Hill is in Kansas City.
He is in Kansas City.
So only 2 days after his release from Miami, Tyreek Hill just posted a Snapchat from the 816. Timing is crazy. The lever. Brett Veach just cleared $44 million in cap space by restructuring Mahomes' contract. The coach, Eric Bieniemy's back. The need. KC's coming off a 6-11 season and needs that explosive spark. Is the Cheetah just visiting friends, or are we about to witness the greatest homecoming in NFL history?
You goddamn right you are. You're damn right you are.
My goodness.
Nick, hold on. Nick, you see it, Nick? He's in Kansas City right now.
I know he is.
Mahomes free up some space.
I know.
The greatest offense coordinator in Kansas City is with us now. And it's only right to bring Tyreek Hill back, right?
So there are 3 issues. There are 3 issues to make this happen. Number one.
Yes, he is unemployed.
Number one, he's in Kansas City. I've been told to meet with Rick Burkhalter, the head trainer, to kind of see what the status of his knee is. That's number one. Number 2, he and his agent, Drew Rosenhaus, who has always done generally pretty good favors for the Chiefs and was the guy who got 5 draft picks out of the Miami Dolphins. So that's number 2. They have to agree to deal.
We're really short selling Brett Veach's involvement in the trade.
Hold on. Wait till the show starts. Hold on. Let me finish. Let me get the facts out, and then you can spew.
Well, that didn't sound like a fact to me, is all that. But so that's why
it's getting steamy.
You gonna let him say that, Nick, with your son watching?
Shut up, Bo. Shut up, man.
I don't know that Drew was negotiating with the Dolphins as far as what the compensation
would be. Well, Lou, that's what agents do. They work out trades. You get permission from a team, and he goes and says, hey, the New York Jets are offering this. You need to step up. It works that way. Trust me.
Well, yeah, I know, but we're short selling Brett Veach in the whole thing.
I'm not short selling Brett Veach in the whole thing. He had a lot to do with it.
Really sounds like you are.
Anyway, the point is he's got a good relationship with the Chiefs. So shut the F up and let me finish my commentary.
Talk your shit, Nick.
So that they have to come to.
I didn't curse, Nick.
I didn't either. I just said F. I could have said H. I could have said any other letter in the alphabet.
Nick, I didn't say any of those. So
Nick can say whatever.
Get me all riled up.
I think he's starting to take this personally.
Y'all, both of y'all the OGs of the show. It's only fair to let y'all do.
We're talking business here, and I think you're taking it a little personal.
I probably am, but that's just the way it is. I had a terrible day yesterday, so I'm just going to take it out on all 3 of you today.
There you go.
All right, so with that said. Yes, he'd have to come to an understanding. I'm assuming he's going to take a team-friendly 1-year deal, hopefully get a long-term deal. If the knee checks out and that happens, then ultimately the third thing that has to happen is Andy Reid has to sign off on it. Patrick Mahomes has to sign off on it. And so I think, I think it's a good sign he's here. I think it's a good sign that they're working him out if he's ahead of pace. Now, he did mention, which we don't know, another surgical procedure he has to do, and it could be something like very, very minor. But it sounds like from talking to several people today that, one, the interest is there. They have spoke about numbers. They want to check the knee out. I don't think he's going to go to Buffalo. I just don't see him going to the Bills. I think the weather there is going to be way, way, way too cold compared to here.
Hey.
He knows the system. 1-year deal. And I know there's a certain person on this panel that may or may not have reached out to Tyreek Hill. So we'll see what happens.
Hey, your son said Brett Veach.
That would be the breaking news.
Yes.
If we had access to Tyreek right now. Can we make that happen?
Tyreek, if you have one of our 4 numbers, just give us a text. That's all.
All I know is he's in Kansas City, guys, and that means a lot. That's a statement. You know what I'm saying? That right there telling me a lot about what the Chiefs want to do going forward. It tells me a whole lot. So I'm with it. I'm with it.
I'm with one of those hoodies from the airport, right? From KCI or MCI, whatever they call it.
Yep. So also, you know what I mean, looking at it as well is, you know, you got the Rashee Rice stuff, then you got, you know, Worthy shoulder, then you got Mahomes. Like Nick said something on Monday, you know, Mahomes coming off injury. Do you want to go get new receivers, or do you want to get somebody that's he familiar with? And him and Tyreek Hill, you know, I know Lou said it's been some years they've been apart, but that chemistry still can be there if they believe it could be done.
If he was healthy, yeah. I mean, I think that's a good point, but neither of them are healthy right now, so I don't know that might be a little further down the list.
Yeah,
but I hear what you're saying.
Lou,
I think having that familiar piece to it, he's expressed interest in being part of this team. I don't know if he said it specifically, but he alluded to kind of regretting the fact that he left. So, yeah, I mean, all that is there. I think it's really just a matter of whether he's healthy or not, or how soon he can be healthy. So, you know, that 1-year deal, I think we talked about it on Mondays, probably needs to be a 2-year deal because there's a good chance he's not available till well into the season. And then it might take him a few weeks to get rolling. And you'd like to have, you know, if he does finish out the year and it looks like, hey, we want to keep this guy for another year, that you want to have that already done rather than say, hey, let's see how this goes. And then all of a sudden, okay, price tag just went to $25 million.
Yeah. If Kelsey's coming back, you know, it's a 1-year deal. Hill will sign a 1-year deal. This is a 1-year. Okay. We're going to try and retread the tires one more year before we really blow this thing up.
So is it the Chiefs doing Ocean 11-1, Ocean 11-2, Ocean 11-3, Ocean 11-4, Ocean 11-5? They just keep bringing back Ocean 11, bring back the same.
This is not sustainable.
They keep bringing back the same guys. You know what I mean? Because like Lou said also on Monday is, you know what I mean? You know, you got the other young guys that you got to know what you have in them as well.
Yeah.
Like Kelsey coming back, how much is that going to push the other guys down?
Yeah.
Now,
needs a shot.
Now, in the wide receiver room, I think with Tyreek Hill coming back, and you supposed to have like the speed of, you know, Worthy and, you know, them two working together instead of having Dance and Juju in the locker room. I think that would be great. You know what I mean? That would be amazing to have Tyreek Hill in the locker room to actually work with, you know, a receiver, to actually somebody that know how to run routes, not on TikTok dancing.
All I'm saying is right now with the what's going on with Rice right now, it's time to go ahead and let Royals get his opportunity. Winston said something about bringing in Lemon. You know what I'm saying? Now we really starting to hone in on what we need going forward right now, because we don't know the potential with Rice. We don't know the future of this other young man. So it's time to bring in a veteran in Tyreek Hill. Hey, maybe go after Rob receiver at 9. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. Maybe it's time.
If they do that, it better be Denzel Boston.
Well, other than that, yeah, I mean that's certainly a possibility. I would imagine. I think I've been saying since we started the offseason is that 9th pick is going to be, to me, the most explosive player on the board.
Exactly.
Yeah. So whether it's Jeremiyah Love or one of the edge rushers or one of the wide receivers. I think all things are on the table, and Tyreek is, again, it's no guarantee. Yeah. All those things that you say can be something that helps them, but again, you need him on the field at some point. So that's going to be the most important part of this. And, if in fact that's he is meeting with Burkhalter. I mean, we'll see if that's the case, and hopefully find out something about that. But more than likely, we won't hear a thing until if and when he signs a contract, and then
So with Tyreek Hill injury too, before we move on to the lose red dots, that everybody's thinking, okay, it's a knee thing, but it happened, earlier in the year in September, right?
I think it was October.
September. Yeah, it was the end of September.
Was it? Okay.
And in September, so he had all that time to heal. So maybe
it's not a matter of all that time. I mean, typically these guys, I mean, especially a wide receiver, running back, 12 months. I mean, Adrian Peterson just shattered everything, right? When he came back, like within 9 months, and didn't seem to skip a beat. But that is the outlier of all outliers. Now, he had ACL issue as well as LCL. And that's what I think the next surgery is going to be, is to repair the LCL. At least that's what was being purported on the interwebs. So, of course, that's true. But if it is true, that's somewhat with the deal that Patrick went to, but they did it all at once. So again, it was a pretty deep injury. I mean, it's a bad injury. So to expect him to be ready to roll even by 12 months, I think that's going to be a big ask. So we'll see. I mean, I hope it does. I hope it all works out. I'd love to see him in uniform, but that's a tough one.
Yeah, agreed.
All right, Luke, what you have for us for the
All right, gang. It is Wednesday, so it is time for the Red Dot Player of the Week, number 5. Here we go. So there's been a lot of talk from one of the panelists, the Golden Jacket. What do you want to say? Do you give the Golden Jackets? Do you make the Golden Jackets, Hense? The guy with the Golden Jackets really hyping an Oklahoma defensive lineman in R. Mason Thomas, and with good reason. He's a damn good player. Well, this red dot is more than likely going to be a late day 2, more than likely a day 3 pick, and his name is Grayson Halton.
Hello.
Defensive lineman from Oklahoma, number 56. There you see him in black and white, well, actually in living color, wearing that Jordan brand. Very cool. 4-star recruit originally out of California, 6'2", 290. He's projected to run a 4.86 at that size, which is ridiculous.
Sexy.
He was second team All SEC this past year. And basically, I mean, he's a very explosive get off. You can see some of it here at the Senior Bowl.
That's
just
all you
about
need.
Every red dot I have is going to be somebody that has flashed at the Senior Bowl. But it does force, that with that type of get off, it does force a lot of protection adjustments and just wreaking havoc from the middle of the field. And that, if it sounds familiar, that's kind of what we were looking for from Omar Norman-Lott.
Right.
Lateral mobility is amazing. Chases from sideline to sideline. Has a relentless motor, especially when it comes to the pass rush.
Yeah, man.
Strong hands, great leverage technique. So maybe I'm not sure, but maybe he's had some wrestling in his background. But those are all great positives. But as I said at the top, he's only 6'2", so smallish, especially against larger offensive linemen. And it really shows up in run defense. Kind of inconsistent with that anchor piece of it, but it's just, I'm not saying that like crossed him out. It just may take a while to develop that. And again, he's probably going to be in the same boat as Omar Norman-Lott.
Lou
needs more variety. Also in the pass rush, he does rely a lot on his quickness, and but can over pursue as well because he is so quick, gets upfield, maybe gets out of position at times, but he does chase the big play, but he is a playmaker. So red dot number 5. There you have him. Great.
If I may speak, Lou, because that's one of my guys on my list that if I go to Twitter and look at Coach Dre. Look at Coach Dre's board. I had him going a third. I'm saying? I'm going third.
You may want to publicize this list.
No, I did.
It should be on Chiefs.
Have we seen this list in the chat? Anybody?
No, because
it's okay. What? All right. So what do you?
I believe two blood types. Hold on, Lou. Hold on, Lou. Let me eat. Lou.
What do you like about him?
Oh well, Lou, like how you go back and forth about I go for the stats. You go what your eyes can see, right? From what I've seen from the video, he attacks. He got good bursts. He got a ferocious moves on that defensive front, right? He's very aggressive. He's very violent, right? And you say you over pursue. I love that though, because what happens, Lou? You take the quarterback off his mark, right? You take him off his mark and make the quarterback do something he don't want to do, right?
Right.
Look at what he's doing right now. That's all you need, Lou. Get him off his mark. That's something the Chiefs do not have. A guy that can get you guy off. Besides Chris Jones, you don't have nobody else. And I know somebody on this panel like Norman Lott, but he's not doing this.
Come on,
right?
stop.
And so if we're going by height, look at Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald was 5'11", and he was a menace. The thing is,
he's a little taller than that. You can't. Don't. I mean, it's
hard.
When you start invoking the name Aaron Donald, like one of the all-time greatest interior defensive linemen, let's pump the brakes a little bit. I think he is a similar skill set of Omar Norman Lott, but maybe not. He's not quite as athletic. He's pretty close,
right?
So I say they would be a similar type player. So I don't know if the Chiefs are looking to load up at that position, then I think that could be a possibility.
I like real quick.
They may see it as duplicating skill sets, and we'll see. But I like him. I think he's a guy that you definitely, if you get him like in day 3, he more than likely will outproduce his draft status.
Well, let me say this too with my stats on my end. My man had 22 hurries, 30 pressures, 5 sacks, and 19 stops. Now, there's not a lot of guys coming out this draft that put up numbers like that. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about Hense's guy or Thomas on the other side, the defensive end. But in order for him to eat, you need somebody that can take the pressure off of him so he can eat. And this the guy right here. Now, listen, you put Chris Jones and this guy in right there in that nose tackle position or defensive tackle position, you know what you're going to get from them. You know what I'm saying? Because remember, guys, it's all about getting guys off the mark.
And early on passing downs, I think he could really help. I think what the Chiefs, I guess, would need or would prioritize is somebody a little bit bigger, more the run stuffing defensive tackle at this point, because they do have Norman Lott, and I mean, if their evaluation of him still stands, I would imagine it does. It was just a matter of him getting injured too much last year that he could fulfill that role. But they really do need some run stuffers as well, because they really don't have one. Quite frankly, they tried to bring in Pinnell. They brought Noddy back. I mean, they were just grasping at straws at a certain point. So I hear what you're saying. And again, from a developmental standpoint, I think he fits the bill. And like I said, day 3, it would be a great pick.
Yeah.
Great pick. Great evaluation there, Lou. Seeing, watching you had to be sitting there watching Oklahoma and take, what brought you over there to see this guy? It must have been RMT. It must have been him that brought you over there to see him over there waiting for him. But
yeah, different position, different. I mean, obviously, much different player. He's more of an edge guy, but I mean, I would think he's probably like a late first or early second round guy. So if you're sitting there at 40. And he's available, and you didn't get your edge guy at number 9.
Yeah, good spot.
Yeah,
there it is. So let's get into the names to watch at the scouting combine. It's coming up next week. We're gonna be talking about Denzel Boston, R. Mason Thomas, Anthony Hill Jr. and other guys.
Let's see how that works. R. Mason is on the damn graphic today. Look at that.
So if that's the names you don't watch, so let's go ahead and talk about R. Mason Thomas. Now we seen what Lou was talking about, but this guy here is relentless. Here, I'm telling you how you spin it out of there. He's taking down the quarterback number.
Yeah, it looks like 56 got him on the ground there. Hence,
now look at that now. In the backfield, R. Mason Thomas is that guy. Look at the spin off of there to get off the ball. This kid is relentless. Now, if you looking for, I think he'd be a day 2, second round pick. He may be after the combine, maybe move in the back end of the first round. But this kid is relentless. His get off, his spin moves. Look at this right here. The dip and still gets to the quarterback. throwing guys that's bigger than him on the ground. So he's standing about 6'2", I think 245. The kid is relentless. Hey, I'm trying to tell you guys, this is my favorite pass rusher coming out this draft.
He reminds me
of Zion Young is. I mean, he's damn. Hence, he's gonna be pissed at you.
I like Zion Young, but
R. Mason is your favorite. Wow.
Yeah, R. Mason.
He don't know what flavor he gonna go with, man. It just depends.
He reminds me of Will Anderson.
Both guys are going to be in position around the same place in the draft. Zion actually may be a little bit ahead of him in the draft, but they're very close, and obviously come from the same part of the country. The Chiefs tend to do a great job of scouting guys in the neighborhood.
They got a coach on the staff who was at Oklahoma. So
well, FAU's from the neighborhood, and you see where the hell he's at.
Yeah, there you go. Now this is from 2 years ago, because that looks like he's getting after Jalen Milroe's ass for one of these highlights. And Jalen Milroe's pretty quick. So
man. But right now, I think John said
Justin Houston to me. He reminds me a lot of Justin Houston.
Yeah, Justin Houston, but he reminds me of Will Anderson for real. Like the get off the ball.
I can't go there yet, man.
Nah, look at it. Watch.
Not yet.
Look, the turnovers on this kid is amazing, man. Look at this right here. He took down two people, pushed the other one, and sacked the quarterback and got a safety. We don't have that. George Kalafis not doing that. I don't see Mike Dana is doing that.
Let's put George against some of these offensive linemen and see how he does.
Yeah, see how he does. He's pretty good.
Hold on, how you gonna talk about your red dot? And let me not talk about that. The golden guys.
You've been talking about it for like 10 minutes now.
Yeah, I just started.
Oh, okay. We'll just sit back and let's watch the same.
What do you think, Drake? What do you think, sir?
I think he's very explosive coming off the edge. John made a comment say he think he's more of a linebacker than a 4-3 guy. I don't know. I think for me, looking at the tape, I think he can be both. Honestly, because he's very explosive. He very biting off the edge. So we'll see. But I do like what I've seen from the guy because he is a hog. He do got some great bursts, so I'm definitely liking what I'm seeing from him.
Well,
what about you, Nick?
Okay, go ahead.
I mean, I like the kid too. I mean, I think when you play in a conference that's that good, it helps. But he's not Will Anderson, so we're not going to go there yet.
Maybe.
He's got some instincts, but yeah, to me, he's a Justin Houston clone. He's got some power. He's got some speed. He's relentless. I don't think his draft stock's going to fall like it did with Justin Houston over his issues. But nonetheless, it was a second-round pick. I think the Chiefs are going to go defensive tackle and defensive end in rounds 1 and 2, probably in that order. Or maybe not. They're not going running back. They're not going wide receiver. They need defense. They got to plug the defensive line. They've really put an emphasis on their coaching staff. They've really, I think they've made some really good quality additions to the coaching staff to kind of help. With some new blood. And again, there's a lot more adults in the room on the coaching staff, guys who are known to being very good at their particular skill set, which I think will shore up the issues with the Chiefs defense. But they need bodies. I mean, let's just look at the AFC West. The Chargers can rush the passer. The Broncos can rush the passers. Raiders, we don't know who the heck they are or what they are at this point. But they got Max Crosby until further notice. So for me, I like this kid a lot. In the second round, I don't think it makes sense. I don't know if he slips into the first round. It depends on the combine, but like I said, the Chiefs, have a coach from that Oklahoma staff who's watched this kid play football and has probably a lot more insight than anybody else. So I would say he's probably going to be relatively high. I think he'll definitely be one of the Chiefs' visits at the combine and also one of the 30 visits to come into Arrowhead before the draft.
What you think, Luke?
Yeah, as far as the linebacker piece, one of the things you have to project sometimes is that first off, the college defensive coordinator's first job isn't necessarily to make these guys into a pro player, right? They're there to win games. So whatever they need him to do, they'll do. I mean, you can have like the same conversation about Arvell Reese at Ohio State, where he's kind of projected as this edge player. I mean, if you remember, Micah Parsons wasn't like putting up some crazy sack numbers at Penn State. It seemed like he played mostly off the ball and was just like this twitchy, freaky athlete. And the Cowboys tried him at a few different places, and they were like, man, this dude's a really good edge rusher. And next thing you know, he was that like 100% of the time. So that's the only thing I would say as far as looking at what a guy's doing in college. And sometimes the numbers don't really tell the entire story, especially if they're being coached to play a certain way. Now, it looks to me, at least from the limited reel that we looked at, as those are edge rushing downs or edge rushing plays, and he's making the most of it. So, yeah, I mean, he certainly would be in play for the Chiefs at 40. Probably, there's a very good chance he doesn't make it that far. But if he did, you certainly have to consider it because, again, just the twitchiness and the ability to come off of the edge. And then, you can try to figure the rest of it out, because you're not going to, those guys don't grow on trees. And if you feel that he's that type of athlete, that you go ahead and make that pick if you need to.
All right. So let's talk about Anthony Hill Jr., linebacker, 6'4", 6'4", 245 pounds. He reminds me of Derek Johnson. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it because he's from Texas, but if you watch his tape, you watch his highlights, the kid is always around the ball. He's always, his pass covering skills is relentless. But again, if you go watch his tape, I think he probably sneak into the first round, maybe top 20. I'm thinking maybe the Cowboys or somebody around there that needs a middle linebacker or outside linebacker. But these are guys that I'm watching for the Chiefs as well, because you don't know what they're going to do with Leo.
You might get him. I don't think the Cowboys are going to have that pick.
Right. So you don't know if the Chiefs going to do a Leo Chanel or or Drew Tranquil, Terminator, aka. You don't know what they're going to do with him. So looking at Anthony Hill Jr., man, 6'4", 245, pass rushing skills, his blitz skills are amazing. He's always around the ball. He's my favorite linebacker that's coming out in this draft. So what you had to say, Coach? Go ahead.
Me looking at the tape, I think Lou said something too about some of these players just go out there to win. Some players are just naturally gifted. Looking at him, I didn't really see no eye popping, like nothing really caught my eye. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my God, he's
have you watched this tape before, sir?
I seen a little bit of his tape. I did. I seen a little bit of his tape. Like I said, he's a good linebacker coming out of college. He's a good linebacker coming out of Texas, though. But we have to see what the scheme, though. We got to see what scheme fits him. You know what I'm saying? So, other than that, he's okay. He's pretty good.
Go ahead, Lou.
Well, I think, again, you can make the same case. I mean, he's a off-the-ball linebacker, which typically doesn't get drafted very high, no matter how great of an athlete he is. I mean, that's just the way. But he's got like the perfect body and skill set to play in the NFL, whether like the inside linebacker in a 3-4. He can maybe even play an outside linebacker. I mean, again, he's a good enough athlete. He could surprise you and become like his great pass rusher. Now, you can see him a few times here. They show a little bit of a delayed blitz here, or maybe, his responsibility kind of went the other way. So bang, he's saying, I'm just going on this play. So you can see, he certainly has some instincts. We've seen plenty of Texas over the last few years. His name is going to be thrown around like that, meaning I would say like as high as mid first, or maybe not even maybe in the 20s. I could see him, and somewhere between the 20s and the 40s. He's definitely a top 50 player, I would think, just in terms of skill set, athleticism, and everything else that you look for. But it's just a tough deal where some of these positions, like center or safety, you just don't see a lot of them, taken high or in the first round. You may see, this year you could see as many as 3 safeties. It is a little bit of a weird year where we might see 3 safeties. We may not see a tight end. Sadiq might not go in the first round.
Yeah, that's the rumor.
So there's a lot of different things happening here. But Anthony Hill Jr. certainly is going to be one of the top athletes. And like I say, I'm looking at him anywhere between 20 and 40.
Right. Yeah, I like him too. I think he's like, I'm all about glue guys. You got to have guys that can do things well. He does have some tendencies, some similarities with Derek Johnson. I like the fact he's good in open space. He's got decent speed. Now, a lot of these highlights, he's not really being blocked. He just has to go the ball. But there's something in that too, because you get a lot of guys who take on the blocks instead of finding another route to the quarterback or the running back. That's what I like about him. He's very smart. He's very intelligent. And I'm with Lou on this one. I think it's going to be, in the 30 to 40, 45 range where somebody picks him up. And again, for a Chief, this would be a good addition. But again, got to get rid of Mike Dana. Probably that means they're going to have to move on from Drew Tranquil, possibly. How does he fit with Nick Bolton and Bassa, assuming Bassa or Leo Chanel is the starter? Is he better than Leo? Is he a guy that can come in and do the things you want him to do, from stopping the run, coverage, and obviously, getting to the quarterback when his opportunity is there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. As far as the Derek Johnson that's the same. Derek Johnson could have probably played any position you wanted him to, for the most part.
He did.
And the Chiefs put him in position to make plays all over the field, and he didn't disappoint. The team just wasn't very good for most of his career, and he's one of the more underappreciated Chiefs of all time, really.
Yeah. John's got put that back up. John's got Dennis Sutton, Penn State, 6'4".
I like him.
Averages about 9 sacks. Could be a third or fourth rounder again.
I like him. He good.
John's spot on. I think it's just going to be a defensive draft. So, because I don't think the Chiefs are going to find what they want in free agency from a defensive perspective that they can afford. And again, we'll see how that plays out. But they got to be smart with their draft picks this year. And I don't want another Jeffrey Bassa situation. I don't want this guy being a second or third round pick who, he gets lost in the shuffle because they want to play somebody else. If you get these guys in the first, second, third, and fourth round, they need to be on the field, if healthy, on the field and ready to contribute day one. And that's not something we've seen enough.
Well, especially the way the team is built and the fact that they have to perform, right? It's not, there's just something going on. I hate to be the conspiracy theorist, but it just feels like there's just maybe a disconnect between the front office and the coaching staff.
I think that's why on defense,
I don't know why. Like what happened? What changed? So I don't know if these changes in the staff have to do with any of that.
I guess all of it.
But the bottom line is, just the way the Chiefs are structured, these guys that they pick in the premium rounds have to play. They do it for a reason. That you want to get cheaper labor. And if you mentioned, is he better than Leo? Well, he's going to be less expensive than Leo, more than likely. Sure. But I don't think that their linebacker is a priority for them right now. So I don't think Anthony Hill Jr. is really in the cards for the Chiefs.
So to piggyback off what Nick just said, Nick, if you're first or second round, you have to start. They got you high. First round, high, second round, you got to start. Like, why get a guy that high and you don't play him?
Yep.
Like that don't even make sense. So you have
we just saying Xavier Worthy over for.
I'm not just even talking about first or second round.
I seen that rumor.
1 through 4 has to start.
The third and fourth round picks have to play and have to play a lot because either they need to be developed for the following year, or you just need them to perform because the roster higher priced veterans aren't an option for this team because
you can't.
all the higher priced veterans are spoken for and they've been paid. So
if you're keeping Jones, bringing Kelsey and Hill back, you got to get younger guys.
And guys, that's why I bring up FAU all the time, because he's a first round guy and we've really seen this man on the field.
Speaking of one guy that can be in the first round, that the numbers I'm waiting to be the guy I'm really going to be locked in on at the combine is Denzel Boston. He probably gonna be I said it, be the best wide receiver that's gonna be coming out this draft. Washington standing at 6'4". This kid reminds me of Mike Evans, Dwayne Bowe with the little hands back of the end zone, catching the skills that in LSU days. That type of old school wide receiver. And that's what I think the Kansas City Chiefs are missing. If they don't take Love at 9 or they don't take a pass rusher and they filled all those needs within the free agency, they got to lock in on Boston. I know a lot of people probably say, Hense, you crazy. Now, when the combine starts and Denzel Boston get to cooking, then you thank me later. You know what I mean? Then you come to say, hey, Hense, we seen you talking about Denzel. He's out here ratting people up at the end zones. He's out here running routes, shaking people up, and doing all these nasty things in the back of the end zone. Hey, that's what the Chiefs need. They need somebody that's nasty on receivers, man. Like we talk about Tyreek Hill, we talk about all the other guys, but we need a big body guy that's 6'4" that can go up in the back of the end zone and taking some of that pressure off of Patrick Mahomes as well. What do you got? What do you think, Luke? I know Luke been watching Denzel Boston too.
Well, he's yeah. I mean, I think there's like there's the wide receivers. I mean, for everybody that thinks that this isn't a deep class, it is a pretty deep class.
Yeah, it is.
You may see as many as 12 go in the top in the first 2 rounds, right? And I think if 13 go, it's only happened twice in the last 30 years. So there may not be that, Jamar Chase in the field as far as college accomplishments, but Tate, Tyson, Lemon, Boston, those are as far as I see it, those are the top 4. Now, again, what order you like them, it depends on the flavor. I mean, Lemon's a little smaller guy. Boston's a little bit bigger. Tyson's just over 6 feet, can do just about everything. But again, the medicals are going to have to be proven, or at least you got to be comfortable with some of the injuries that he's had. Tate, is he the next one in terms of Ohio State wide receivers? You like to think so. I mean, everything that he's shown leads you to that. Nothing spectacular, but he does everything just right. So is Boston? Yeah. I mean, if you like the 6'4", what does he have to show us at the combine that he hasn't already shown? I think it's really just the 40 time. Right. If at his size, he puts up like a sub 4.5 40, if you had any question whether he could be a top 15 pick, I think that gets answered and says, okay, I don't think there's anything else we can ding this kid for. Mm-hmm. So that's really the only thing that he would need to show me. Tyson, again, it's the medicals. Lemon, just have to be comfortable with a smaller receiver. He's maybe 5'10" tops, maybe closer to 5'9". Yeah. But you've seen smaller receivers, since they've changed the rules over the years, be quite effective and be really damn good. I mean, his USC brother, Amon-Ra St. Brown, he was passed over because he was this smaller dude, and he's done nothing but put up huge numbers every single season.
I think looking into that, guys, looking from a receiver standpoint, guys, it's a separation, man, because we've seen speed, we've seen height, we've seen all this, right? Can you be a great robber? Can you get separation? The Chiefs' biggest Achilles heel is separation. We've seen Rice, we've seen Worthy, we've seen all these speeds, these small guys, right? They can't get separation when they get jammed. So you need a guy that can get separation. Right. Lemon can get separation. Boston can get separation. Tyson can get separation. So it's all about, can you get separation? And that's all it is. So for me, going to the combine really don't make a difference to me, because speed or not, as long as or you're a good route runner. Are you good with your hands off the jam? You know what I'm saying? So that's what I look at. So I'm not really concerned about the combine, the speed. I want to know. All I want to know is, can you get separation? That's all I want to know.
Well, somebody in the chat said I was smoking crack. Hey, I ain't no crack smoking here. I'm just saying, man, Denzel Boston is going to be that guy, when it's all said and done. A lot of people said I was smoking crack when I said Patrick Mahomes is better than Deshaun Watson. They was going to bury throw the torch at me. But I'm telling you,
that was like 9 years ago.
Forget about Jerry Rice's kid?
Denzel Boston is going to be there. So, you know what I mean? We're going to put Nick out there and pass and let him run routes.
No, I don't think I could do that. I would die of a heart attack. But I'll say this. I think if the Chiefs move back, into 13, 14, 15 range, I would say, and Boston's still there. Yeah, I could definitely see the value if Downs is gone and the tackles are gone or Love is gone.
Yeah.
If those guys are all gone, or the pass rusher that they really like, I can see them moving back. And if they decide to go offense again, this is predicated on them getting, drafting a wide receiver this high. If they sign Tyreek Hill, is he going to be ready for the regular season? What are they going to do with Rashee Rice? How much does Chad O'Shea have a say in the wide receivers? What cachets does Chad O'Shea have in the NFL to maybe bring a top level or a mid to top level wide receiver and get him into Kansas City that he can work with? That's one of the best wide receiver coaches in the NFL in its history. So for me, that's the unknown factor. I'm confident that regardless of the 4 or 5 wide receivers or 6 wide receivers the Chiefs have that are going to be either active or close to active on game day, that Chad O'Shea is going to have them up to speed and they're going to be ready to rock and roll. This kid is good. He does. He's another Dwayne Bowe. He has great hands, great speed. One of the comments from Huge 11123 says he didn't do well against competition. He's going up against some of the best defensive talent, in the division. So he's going to have to be at a speed. What the Chiefs can't afford to do with a guy like this, they can't draft him and hope. They have to be 100% certain or close to it that they can step in, plug and play this guy, and they're not going to do another Royals thing. Now, the whole Royals situation, he was drafted because he got very similar skills to Rashee Rice, and I think Royals is going to get opportunity. But for me, I love Denzel Boston. I'm not sure 13, 14, 15 if the Chiefs drop back. I can't see them taking him at 9.
Well, if they really, to me, is if you really like the guy, I wouldn't F around and drop back 3 or 4 picks. Now you're just you're being greedy. So if you truly like the guy and you feel that he's going to be able to do all those things you just said, Nick, for the team, then you just go ahead and take him.
Yeah.
And the only way you wouldn't is if the opposite of what you said. If none of the other receivers go and there's like 3, if like 3 of them are staring you in the face that you like, maybe then you drop back a couple of picks based on who's around you and just understanding the board and knowing that maybe they're not going to take receivers and maybe you could get an extra pick out of it and still get one of those 3 receivers. But if you've kind of locked in on this guy and he's sitting there, you take him. I wouldn't.
Hey,
Lemon is skyboard. Stop playing.
No, you know what? No, honestly,
if they got Hill worthy, I don't want
to. Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing.
Play at a higher level,
but here's the thing, guys. Going back to that, guys, the receivers we've seen speed, we've seen all this. Can you run a route? Can you get separation? Can you help Patrick Mahomes out? Because if you look at JSN, like to me, is one of the greatest route runners of this time right now. And the Chiefs don't have that. We don't have a good
all time.
No, we don't have
a great year.
Right. We don't have a good route runner though, Nick. We don't have a good route runner.
Who do we have? Well, I don't know. I don't even know if we know that, because if you look at this offense and everything that they've been able to do over the years, it's all been predicated on speed and timing and getting the windows at certain times versus zone. The man part of it, I'm with you. I think they can get separated. I don't know that they're physical enough at the point of attack. If they are getting pressed, they can get bumped off their line, and then they don't get to where they need to be at the time that Patrick expects them to be.
And that's the weakness, Lou, because once these coordinators,
we'll have to see how they adjust the offense.
Get past the jam. You gotta get past the jam, man.
How the coaching comes into it, because that's going to be a lot of it. Because you already drafted them, they're on the team, right? Outside, unless something goes wrong with Rashee Rice here and they cut him, he's going to be on the team. So you got to work with him and get him over those things. And, I just feel like they don't got a guy right now that you can trust to go against some of the number 1 DBs. I hear you. That's a lot of, I hear you. And that's a lot of, okay. But they're still on the team. You got to work with them. Yep. And now we're looking at new talent as well. So
you bring in some of that good talent, somebody like Lemon, somebody like Boston. Right. Either way it goes, I want somebody who can get separation. You know what I'm saying?
Man, Lemon and Sky Moore.
Okay, between
Lemon and Sky Moore.
I think we have another word to add that's been beaten to death. At first, what was the word? Was serviceable. Now it's separation, because I'm pretty sure you've said it 100 times.
The word of the day is what?
Separation.
Separation.
Guys, in the comment section, do y'all agree? The word of the day, the word in the offseason, guys, a receiver that can get separation.
No. The word of the offseason is accountability.
Can you get separation?
The word of the offseason is accountability.
That equals separation.
There it is. If we don't draft safeties and defensive tackles and strengthen the defense, because they have a serious need, the offense will be sitting on the sideline no matter who the wide receivers are.
I disagree, John, because even with that being said, the damn guys can't get past 10 yards.
If they score, if the other team scores quickly, the offense is right back out there, John.
There you go.
No worries there.
And Mahomes is running for his life.
In all seriousness, at 9, I don't know. Again, this is just me talking. I don't know, no expert, but there's no defensive. I don't think there's a defensive tackle worth taking at 9. There are better athletes at other positions that you would want to get a hold of. Now, Banks, again, it's a roll of the dice. And I don't know, somebody had mentioned that earlier, is you better be sure, because he only played 3 games this year. He's had his issues. And yeah, he could be a great player, but I don't know that you want to go boom or bust at 9. Right. Yeah, I mean, maybe later on in the draft, but at 9, I don't want to say a sure thing, but somebody that doesn't have those issues, that doesn't have the baggage or whatever is kind of weighing him down right now. The weight also is part of it. But hey, if he gets everything under control, he could turn out to be one of the most dominant players of this draft. There's no question about it. Well, at 9, are you willing to roll the dice?
Well, I will. I'm if like I said, if Love ain't there or Boston ain't there, give me Banks. Give me Banks next.
I want consistency, man.
Next guy that's coming in, but also
all right. So here's, you want to watch for a guy at the combine. This is a combine player. I just want to tell you, I've got one. So go ahead.
Okay.
With John, I want to ask John. I don't agree with John about the defense, offense, but we've been building this defense for years now, right?
It's
every person. It's broken because of who?
Well, they've lost.
Your boy Beach can't pick defensive linemen. You can't say
changes in the coaching staff.
Are you going to trust him again to pick another defensive lineman? I'm just
Super Bowl winners,
defensive lineman,
Super Bowl runner-up.
He still has the job, so we have to trust him.
Hey, Nick, your son said he's going to get fired. He said he want him fired. He want him out of here.
There's nothing to do with it.
Cole said he want him out of here,
and that's his own. But you got to fix the defense, and that's why they've changed the coaching.
Well, you need to go talk to Beach and say, fix this defense, Beach.
Beach has to fix it.
We've been surviving off of Chris Jones. We've been surviving off of Chris Jones and John Dorsey picked Beach. We've been surviving off of him.
That's why you see a much more experienced defensive coaching staff. They're going to be as many yes men to Steve Spagnuolo. True ideas, guys with experience, in different places, have different skill sets. I think it's important that you have that diversity of coaching styles and that experience, where some guys who are kind of out of position coaching in certain situations.
You agree with him, Luke?
It just didn't fit. But they got to fix the defense. Beach is the only guy that can do it.
Speaking of defensive coaches, we never really heard anything about. I know he didn't get the job, but we never really heard boo from Cullen interviewing with the Ravens. So he's officially back with the Chiefs, as far as we know.
Joe Cullen is back, and
he had some interesting. I don't remember if I forwarded it to you guys, but at some point he was speaking almost glowingly of Felix.
Well,
going into last year,
the one who stood up in the room and said draft him
before he got hurt. Yeah. But to your point, you saw like the year where they got beat by Tampa in the Super Bowl, and Veach was like, "We got to fix the offensive line," right? and they went after it like great draft, free agent. We're hitting this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing he has that same mentality this year with the defensive line. He may not, but that's just kind of where my thinking is right now.
Right.
But in terms of the combine, you want maybe for some fireworks here, or maybe a whole Xavier Worthy thing going on. We got to look out for this kid, Brennan Thompson, wide receiver from Mississippi State. He's 5'9", 170. Got a real good chance of running in the 4.2s. And he probably looked like Xavier Worthy, like a guy that showed up from middle school or high school and just ran faster than anybody in the building. But
I'm tired. I'm tired of these Sonics.
He's about 15 years old.
We got all these Speedy Gonzalez's and these Sonics, man. They ain't got no damn upper body strength.
I'm not saying for the Chiefs to pick, but just just in general. You can expect to challenge the 4.2s in the 4.
So listen, guys, we talking all this stuff about Veach not picking this, picking that. Let's go on the Spags and not really putting guys that's been performing on defense when they do get the opportunity. Let's go within the coaching. What the Spags doing? Right? Bossa haven't played. We had high hope for Bossa. No wins
That's
look
the whole
good.
Reason, dude. I keep saying you keep bringing this old stuff up.
Galati really didn't get his due.
No, that's why.
Galati didn't get a lot of snaps though, Nick. And I know Galati can out there. He one of the best pass rushers.
That's all.
Let him go, Nick. He'll tire himself out.
It's just redundant, man.
Hey, I would never tire myself out. You see this? Never.
Oh, you got the good stuff there.
I got some of
the obvious thing in the room.
No, but honestly,
the obvious thing in the room.
What's the obvious thing, Nick?
The obvious thing in the room is you've got a coaching staff that is better on defense than it was a year ago.
Well, again,
you got guys in positions that know their shit.
Okay.
We didn't have that last year on both sides of the ball.
Are you sure? I mean,
yes, I'm sure.
On defense.
On both sides of the ball, I think there were deficiencies in the coaching staff. That's why this team didn't play well.
There were, but it was primarily the coaching staff that got them as far as they did and built up the defense before. I think to me, I think it was more the guys that they lost on defense. Turk, Reed. I mean, those guys, again, they may not be superstars, but they were kind of guys. They were guys that held it together. Now, again, Carolina, you can say what you will. They kind of panicked when Milton Williams, left him at the altar. I mean, he was all set to sign there, and then New England kind of blew him away. And then they're like, screw it. We got to get the next guy. And they may have overpaid Turk, but God bless him. He's a good player, and they developed him, but they didn't pay him. So anyway, I think the coaches they brought in should help. I don't know if it's going to make a huge difference. There must have been something about Boss's game that, again, was an overlap. If Leo, who had been there a while, who's a bigger athlete than him, was only getting 30% of the snaps, how many is this rookie getting? Right? So
it didn't make sense.
So that's part of it. But both of those guys should have been playing more. Noel Williams should have gotten more snaps. Again, but again, it's all experience. They can look back at this and say, hey, this is where we screwed up. Yeah. And hopefully they don't do it again. But those guys that we're talking about, those guys that we just named, will play major roles this year.
I agree. And they had to fix their wrong last year. And hopefully, like Lou, like you say, they learn from their mistakes. The coaches have learned. If the guys are performing at a high and playing at a high level, let them guys ball. Let them play.
Yeah,
I agree. But I'll ask.
Well, they have to be on the field and show you they can play at a high level before. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like a chicken and the egg type thing.
Hey, talk heavy. Hey, Noah Williams was out there playing some good
when
ball
he got his opportunity. Yeah,
exactly. So, but when he did, Lou, he
golden jacket guy. But again, I want to ask. I want to ask.
Can we put it? Can we?
Wearing a golden jacket.
Can we put out the list?
We didn't hear. Listen, we didn't hear all 22. We didn't hear all 22 yet.
Well, why you jinxed it? You need to put out the list of the golden jackets that got rescinded. You had to take some of those jackets back.
Okay, I will. But tonight or tomorrow, I'm gonna write an article about the guys you should be watching at the combine. I'm gonna drop the top 50. And before we do that, before we close out, I want to ask Nick a question.
It's okay to discuss that on the next show too.
Yeah.
So
I want to ask Nick a question. I'm gonna put you on the spotlight. Can you name all the defensive linemen that Brett Veach took?
Here we go.
Can you name them? That's what I
damn.
Brett Veach took. Well, he took Breland Speaks.
That's Hense's favorite.
Go ahead, sir. Keep going.
Man, you put me in the trivia spot.
Mike Dana, Omar
Mike Dana didn't work out very well.
George Karlaftis.
Karlaftis, I think, worked out well enough. I'm okay with that one.
Derek Natty
in his first tenure in Kansas City, I thought he played pretty well.
I think Turk was a UDFA, but he
still
did sign him.
Yeah, I think you have
Colin Saunders.
Colin was pretty good too for a while.
And would you trust him?
The problem was, I think the biggest issue I had with the Chiefs building the defensive line is they had Chris Jones inside, they had Chris Jones outside. They moved him around a lot. He wanted to be more of a pass rusher than an inside guy. And I think if they had stuck to the philosophy that made Chris Jones such a great interior player, then maybe they built this line a little differently. But I don't think we're going to see those kinds of mistakes with the staff and with the picks.
We said that last year too.
Well, I think Chris Jones still will pick his spots and kind of move people
and I'm fine with that.
To where he wants to be and like hunts certain matchups.
Yes.
So that's the difficult part of like kind of planning those snaps, because if you're putting a guy that you feel that you can win with on the edge, now all of a sudden Chris says, hey, scoot over. I'm going to take that matchup. Hey, if he wins, great, whatever. But again, you're kind of, now this guy didn't get the full value, if you would, of that snap. So, but hey, as long as he wins, but again, we're getting to a certain point with defensive linemen. When they fall off a cliff, they fall off. He hasn't fallen off the cliff, but he's damn close. I mean, I don't think there's any other way to say it. I mean, he just isn't quite this dominant player that he's been in the past, and that's understandable at his age. Right. Now, did they overpay? Did they not anticipate that this was kind of going in the wrong direction? Was it, hey, we're kind of paying him for what you did, not what you're going to do? So, yeah. But these are the guys in charge, and we have to trust them, Hense.
How Brett Veach guys stay around longer than John Dorsey guys? I don't know. I'm just saying. But with that said, guys,
we'll see you guys. You got a lot of love there for Dorsey.
We'll see you guys on Friday with Factor Cat.
That's right, gang. That's right.
We'll have that as well.
Watch the replay. Tell your friends. Forward them the tweet that we put out.
Yes. Hopefully X will get their act together too, and you can see our shows next. But we do post them before we start the show.
Facebook, YouTube. Don't
forget to check out ChiefsBlitz.com. Hense and I are going to be throwing out lots of articles between now and, the rest of the year. So let's do it.
All right, guys. See you guys Friday.
All right.
Loyal to the team, every victory we slay. Chiefs Blitz podcast where the real fans unite. Every touchdown scored, we ignite the night. From tailgate chatter to postgame.